So, welcome my May Day advanced NEETers. This is our third session, and according to your progress or according to your rate at which you're NEETing, according to your convenience, I'd like to present to you two patterns today. There is here on my left-hand side, you've got the Chinese lantern, which is a bit of an advanced one, but I know that some of you are up to the challenge, so I wanted to introduce this one to you. And to my right side, there's doily B. Now, doily B is quite easy, and there's nothing more than you have learned. It's exactly what you've learned, because there are yarn overs, knits, there are skips, and there are knit two together. That's all. So you know exactly how to follow this doily B. So there's no problem at all. So whoever has finished the swirl and doesn't want a challenge can start doily B. It is, of course, challenging to do anything new, but you will be able to do it without a hitch, doily B. Whereas doily, this Chinese lantern, I need to explain to you. I've simplified it here for you. Please look at your pattern and see if there is something difficult. First of all, cast 8 stitches on needles, 3 mm. That you know very well, right? These are 3 mm needles. There are 2 circular needles, and you know how to make a magic ring and cast the stitches, right? Then the first line is knit all, second line is yarn over, knit one, third line is knit. Now we stop at this because so far I told you there were 8 segments. Now this particular doily keeps on changing segments. Sometimes you are doing in segments of 4. Sometimes you're doing segments of 8, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you're changing segments by 1 point. Okay? So let me explain this to you before we start. We may not finish the doily, we may do a part of the doily, but I need you to know the different stitches. Now, for example, here, your style, this particular at the third row, I told you you are doing you have already reached 2 stitches per segment of 8. That is, yarn over, knit 1 becomes 2 stitches for 8 times. But if you go to row number 4, you will see there is yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1. So it means that you're using these 3 stitches and this 1 stitch, and yet you're putting 2 yarn overs there. Okay? So it means that you're using 4 stitches when each segment had 2. That means that you're using 2 segments in 1. So now your segments have reduced to 4 segments instead of 8 segments. Is that clear? Is this part clear? That now you're using 4 stitches, which means that you're using 2 segments together, right? Then when you go further down, you have these asterisks. Now, these asterisks mean that you've got to repeat till the end. So in this case, there are 6 stitches. In this case, there are 8 stitches into 4. And that means that you're repeating into 4 here. Here you were repeating into 8. Now you're repeating into 4. And then the stitches go on increasing from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 to 14. Then again it is 14. Then again it is 14. Then it becomes 16. Then it becomes 10 for 8 segments. So it becomes 20, 20, 20, and so on and so forth. So it'll keep on changing, but the instructions are clear. Wherever there is an asterisk, you have to repeat the whole thing again. Now, in that particular pattern, it's directly, I sent you directly from the book, so you know how patterns come. So there is an O there instead of yarn over. Okay, that's one difference. And then instead of skip, it's written that S-K only. And you don't have, they don't tell you that it is Passover, skip, and neat over, nothing, sleep over, nothing. So I wrote here, I've translated it to skip. If you look at my pattern from here till here, you'll be able to follow the rest of it, right? So let's start. Let's start. What are we going to do first? We are going to make a magic ring. I think you all are muted, so you can answer me, and I keep on thinking that you can hear me.
Yes, no one is muted.
Then they're all very silent today. Normally they answer.
I was muted just now I opened.
Recording is going on, Eunice.
All right. All right. So now I'm going to start the magic ring. As I said, wind round your finger, remove the loop, turn it over, and then start with your crochet needle. One, first stitch, take out one loop, another loop, second stitch, one loop, another loop, third stitch, one loop, another loop, 4 stitches, and I'm going to put it over the size 3 mm needle, right? Okay, having done that, now I'm going to take out another 4 stitches for the next needle. Here's my, as you can see, this is my loop still there. So I'll catch the same loop and I'll take out another 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 stitches. Put it on your needle. Then holding both sides tight, I'm going to pull the loose end till my somehow there seems to be a delayed reaction. Yeah, can you see?
No, you don't worry. It's working fine for us.
Okay.
I thought you froze.
So I know, now you'll have become pros, really. Okay, what does the first line say? Knit all. So I'm going to knit all. So this is my first needle, first stitch, second stitch, third stitch, fourth stitch from, there, I've dropped it. Fourth stitch on the needle 1. Now my segments also will change after the third row. At the moment, I still have 8 stitches. So now I'm going to needle 2. Fifth, knit. Sixth stitch, knit. Seventh stitch. And 8th stitch. Please see that I also sometimes miss something, really drops, because after all, it is the first row and it is tight. So it does drop sometimes, okay? Now we are going back to needle 1, the first stitch. And I know that because these two are on this side, say, in the middle of the first and the second needle. Try not to twist your work, okay? Just keep it plain like this. Don't let the needles twist. Okay. Now, second row is yarn over, knit 1. It's written okay there in your, and that stitch is okay, isn't it? So thread over the needle and start. Yarn over, knit 1. Tighten. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Okay, now Yarn over, again, I'm on needle 2, yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Third row is knit all. Even if the needles twist, you just hold this part. If you hold with the 2 fingers, this part will not twist. Then you will not get confused as to which is the right side, wrong side, etc. Just hold that when you're pulling your needles. I'm holding this part all the time, see, with my thumb and my forefinger. Okay. Now we come to the 4th row. Now the 4th row, I have yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, and then it keeps on repeating. It just repeats, the pattern just repeats after that. And there's an asterisk there, okay? Yarn over, knit 3. One, 2, 3. And I'm going to tighten. Then yarn over, knit only 1, knit 1. Then yarn over, knit 3. You have to repeat, right? 1, 2,
Knit
3.
3 means if you have to take 3 together.
Not together, separately, knit 3.
Okay, fine.
So now I have done the first. Now I'm going to the second needle. Okay, second needle, once again, please see if you are a bit confused. See, yarn over, then I'm knitting 3 separately. 1, tighten, 2, tighten, knitted. Can you see? There are 4 stitches. Can you see all 4? Yarn over, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now yarn over, knit 1. With this, I've finished the 3rd sector. Now last 4 stitches are left, where I do yarn over, knit 3, 2, 3. And then yarn over, knit 1. Now, one thing that I need to remind you is that you've got to read the instructions at the beginning, and the instructions say that every odd row is a knit. So we have done row number 4. So row number 5 is odd. Next row or every alternate row. So this one will be knit everything. So knit all. Now because I had yarn over, knit 3 becomes 4 stitches, 5 stitches, 6 stitches. So I've got 6 stitches. So when I knit, I know that my first segment is of 6 stitches. So 1, tighten, 2, 3, 4, 5. I finished the first segment. Second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Second segment is over on needle 1. Now I'm going to needle 2. Now this time I purposely didn't bring the the marker. I just brought a drawing pin. I'm going to put this, not drawing pin. This is a staple. Yeah, I will show you that how I put it. Just hang it on. Okay, 1. So anything you can use as a marker. 1. This is my 3rd segment. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 3rd segment. 4th segment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm trying to tell you is that segments are not this, they change. What I mean by segment is one segment of the pattern which repeats itself all the time. Okay, now both are here. See, both these are here. So that means it's my beginning and my end. So I'm going to hang this somewhere. Anywhere that it remains. Okay, see, I just hang it somewhere so it tells me where it is. Even a thread, a woolen thread, you can tie, anything you can do. Okay, so that it remains there. I'm going to start do the pattern, the row number 6. Yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, skip, yarn over, knit 1. Okay, and repeat. Right? For you to know whether it's right or wrong, the pattern, because many times patterns that you get online are wrong. Something is missing. You must see. Now there were 6 stitches in the previous segment. Okay, now count here. If I said knit 2 together, that's 2 stitches. Knit 1 together, knit 1, that is 1 stitch. So 3. Skip becomes 2. So 4, 5. And the last knit 1 is 6. So yes, I've used 6 stitches here with the pattern that is yarn overs and all. So you know that this row is correct, right? So let's start. That is only when you want to check if that pattern is not coming. Isn't it? You just can do. Okay. So now yarn over, knit 2 together. Yarn over, put the needle through 2 stitches and just knit. So knit 2 together, then yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, skip. Skip is take out 1 stitch, knit the other, and pass this skipped stitch over the next stitch. Okay. Then yarn over, knit 1. So now I've finished 1 segment. Now I've got 6 stitches and I've got to repeat what I just did. That is yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, skip, pass 1 stitch over the other, over the skip stitch, over the knitted stitch, and then yarn over, knit 1. Now, many of you I discovered even I used to do at the beginning. So I'm telling you that it's natural, but be careful about the yarn overs. You tend to miss your yarn overs. Then when you don't pick it up or you don't realize, you have got 1 stitch less somewhere. And most often what you do is put the thread on top. So you'll get 1 extra yarn over or extra stitch. That also you have to mind. So where yarn overs are concerned, be careful. Okay, so now I'm going to needle number 2, row number 6, yarn over, knit 2 together. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, skip 1, knit 1 and pass the skip stitch over it. P stands for pass. Yarn over, knit 1. So 3rd segment is done. 6 stitches are left. So I know I'm on the right track. Yarn over, knit 2 together. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, skip 1, knit 1, pass over. Pass the slip stitch over the knitted stitch. Then yarn over, knit 1. Okay, now let me tell you something else. If you have put an extra yarn over, just drop it, okay? So, but if you have not picked a yarn over, then you can see here in between, suppose I had dropped this, let me see. Suppose I had not done this yarn over. So then I know that I needed to lift this one, this stitch that is in between the 2 needles, this one is a yarn over. Then I lift and put it in. Yeah, okay. So you need to lift from the middle and put the stitch. So that becomes a yarn over in case you miss the yarn over. Now we are going to go to row number 7 and that is all neat. So I'm just going to count 1, 2. Now I have to have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let me tell you how I know that there are 8 stitches. You should also do. Now I've written here, but you should know. Now look at the 6th row. I'm showing you with this needle. Yarn over is 1 stitch. Knit 2 together is 1 stitch. Yarn over is, so 1, 2, 3 yarn over, 4, 5. Skip becomes another one. So 6th. Yarn over becomes the 7th. Knit 1 becomes the 8th stitch, right? So you've got 8 stitches now. So when you're doing your knit all, you please count that so that you don't have to rip and open and go back and miss on your stitches, okay? So now I'm just going to count and do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I reach here and say, where am I now? Am I in the first needle or second needle? So my marker should tell me that, well, this is here. So I'm still on I finished my first needle and I've got to do the second needle, right? Now the purpose of today's lesson is not to finish the Chinese lantern pattern, but to teach for you to learn the different types of stitches and whatever you might have missed in between, okay? Some stitches. So we have repeated the magic ring. We have repeated the skip, the knit 2 together, etc. And I've explained to you the abbreviations also change. In this magic lantern which I gave you, you have in the magic lantern, you have different abbreviations. That is O for yarn over and SK for skip, right? Okay, now I'm on my 4th segment, knit. Five, 6, 7, 8. See, even now I was still, after so many years, I still count my stitches so that I know that I have done it correctly. Okay, see, then you can look at the two needles properly and you see where we have reached. Okay, now because you're knitting on 2 needles, it looks flat, but it is not flat because you're tightening these 2 ends to get a round finally. Okay, see, can you see the needles? Can you all see? We have got now the beginning of the Chinese length. Now let's go on to row number 8. Knit 1, yarn over, skip, yarn over, knit 1, knit, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. It's completely a different pattern now. Come on. So knit 1, knit 1, yarn over, skip 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2. Now repeat means you have knitted 2 and you're knitting 1 here. So you directly knit 3. Yarn over, skip, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I've finished 1 needle. See, it's a different pattern altogether. It's quite different. Once again.
Please tell me, skip, how you are doing, please.
Okay, I'll do it slowly.
Yeah,
So,
please.
I'm just starting. So knit
Yes,
1,
yes. Huh?
knit 1, yarn over. Okay, now skip.
Okay.
Can you see
Yes.
properly?
Yes,
Okay,
I can
I'm going
see.
to skip this one stitch. I skip.
Okay.
I don't do the
Hmm.
knit. I just took it to the next needle on my right,
Okay.
and then I'm going to knit the other one.
Okay, got it, got
And
it. Thank you.
and
Thank you.
this one that is skipped, I will put over the
Okay.
like this. Okay, that is
Okay.
also sometimes called as crossover. All right, many patterns have got crossover. That is also crossover. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now again we have finished another row, and now we've got just a knitted row. Now, do you this goes on like this? That is fine. I think you already understood what it means. Okay. To do this pattern so far. So I think this is the same procedure that you go till row number 16. Then row number 17. Please read what it says. What carefully read, all of you, what it says, and I'm going to explain to you while I'm doing this knitted row. I'm counting, so
This row, how many per segment, how many stitches should be there?
I've written here 10
Okay. Right.
into
Okay.
4 times. 10 into 4 times, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
So now what do you think? How many stitches I have on one needle?
40.
Huh?
10 into 4 segment, no?
4 in all. So how many do I have on one needle? You tend to count in twos, huh?
20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 20 on each.
20.
So when I count and see that I have 20, I know that I'm right, because there is 12, 40 means 20 on one needle and 20 on the other needle. Okay.
Eunice, please
No.
give us a chart, no? On the right hand side.
I have this is a very rough thing. I can send it to you, but you'll have to start calculating now by yourself. So that's why I'm showing you how to
We
calculate.
are beginners. Once we know, then we can.
That's how I'm
become-
showing you how to count. Okay. So if once you know how to count, it's like how when you teach people how to fish, they are fishermen for life. So I would like you to count and do it yourself, but so I'm showing you again how to count, okay? Now we have reached, what row have I done? Anybody knows? I've done the 9th row. So 10th
9.
row. Yeah, so 10th row says knit 2 together. No, sorry, knit 2, yarn over, skip, yarn over, knit 1, knit, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 3. Now, I've said here 12 into 4. Now, what is this 12? Let's count. Knit 2 becomes 2, yarn over becomes 3, skip becomes 1, that is 4th. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, another 3 becomes 7, knit 2 together, 8th, yarn over, 9th, knit 3 becomes 10, 11, 12, right? Understood how to count? Yes? Any problem about counting? Shall we do it again? Yeah, so knit 2 becomes 2 stitches, yarn over becomes the 3rd stitch, skip 1 becomes fourth stitch, yarn over becomes the fifth stitch, knit one becomes the next stitch. That is, oh, I lost count. 2, 3, 4, 5. Knit one becomes sixth, yarn over becomes seventh, knit two together becomes eighth, yarn over becomes ninth, knit three becomes 10, 11, and 12. Okay? And if you want to know the previous row also, the same way you count, right? Now we have finished the 9th row. We are going to the 10th row. 10th row.
Doesn't mean that skip doesn't mean that you're skipping any stitch, but you're just putting it across, no, Eunice?
Yeah, this is skip doesn't stand for the real word. It stands for an abbreviation. S means slip
Okay.
one stitch. K1 means knit one stitch. And P stands
Okay.
for pass over. Pass the slip stitch over. Okay?
Okay.
I think somewhere in the first time I gave you that abbreviation. It is on this one as well. See, skip. Slip one, knit one, pass, slip, stitch over. Okay?
Okay, fine.
And in this doily B is there. I've written because
Okay,
this
fine.
I've written. Okay? Right.
Understood. No, thanks.
Yeah. What I usually do is when I find a pattern, I will write down how the stitches at the side and then continue. Otherwise, as I'm doing, I will count and write the stitches on the side. So always keep one column for you to write your stitches. Then next time you do, it becomes very easy. And even the first time, it helps you to keep count and not lose your stitches, right? Okay. Now we are on the 10th row. Need to yarn over, skip, slip, pass, slip stitch over, yarn over, knit one, yarn over, knit two together, yarn over, knit three, 2, 3, knit 2, 1, 2, slip, yarn over, skip, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 3. Okay. Now I finished needle number 1. I'm going to needle number 2, right? So knit 2. Do you think you have understood till here? Because I would like to explain this now part. Or should we continue till 16? Should we continue till 16 or have you understood?
I have understood. I can do up to this part.
Understood.
Yes, I think we've understood.
Because I need to show you that part. Okay, I'll finish this row and I will tell you how to do that part, okay?
Okay.
I'll just finish this row and tell you that part. And then those who want to continue can continue with me. Okay. Now, suppose I was already, suppose I was now I am in row 10. I finished 10. So suppose we have done all this. Now you know this is the same type, that is the same type, except the stitches are increased, okay? So, suppose I finished row number 16, suppose. Now I've reached number 17. 17 is knit all, but how? I'll show you how. So you knit all except for you knit all on this needle, okay? Which I'm doing now. Consider this is row number 17 that I'm knitting. I will knit the normal way as I'm knitting now. Normal way till the end. Then it changes. It says that pass knit one stitch from the next needle to this needle. Do you understand?
No.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you. So I've knitted here till the end. And it says continue this throughout. Huh? Okay. Now I've knitted till the end, right? So now I've got my, how many stitches I've got now? At the end of the row 16, you will have 14 stitches. So what you will do now is that it says here, at the end of each needle, knit first stitch from the next needle. So you've got to knit the first stitch from needle number 2 into this needle. So please bring that to the end. Be very careful.
In your left-hand side.
Yeah, this is the time you're just pushing the stitches. Just see that at this time you don't drop anything. Hold on to both sides of the needle. This is a bit tricky. Okay. Because both, now you're not pulling it. Okay, see. Okay. So now I'm on this needle. The first needle, I finished knitting all the stitches on the first needle. Now I've got to take, I've got to take this first stitch here on needle 1 from needle 2. I've got to transfer one stitch. So this one stitch I knit and I transfer to this needle. Okay? Understood? See, then I can tighten it.
Please show it
needle.
Wait, first realize what I'm doing. Theory part. I'm transferring one stitch from needle 2 to needle 1. Okay? Now I'll show you again. This is also how you reverse this. See, I'm pulling the lower loop. This is how you remove also a stitch. I have to remove, no? This one stitch, okay. Okay, so now we are at square one where I've got my stitches on needle number 1. This is my needle number 1, okay? I'm holding it, can you see? This is needle number 1 and this side is needle number 2, right? Now I have to take one stitch for number 2 and put on number 1. One stitch for number 2 and put on number 1. Understood? So what I'll do, I'll just take number 1, needle number 1 and do the first stitch. I'll knit the first stitch. And then transfer it here. But only thing is while I'm transferring, it has become rather big. So I'll just make it, I'll just tighten it. That's it. Done. Understood?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I continue knitting. I continue doing my knit here. Continue doing this knit on my needle 2 till I reach the end. Then one needle from 2 has to go to 1.
You continue with the needle 1 or 2?
Now I'm continuing with needle number 2 because I've done knits only for needle 1, right? And then transferred.
Okay.
Now I'm doing needle 2, all the knits because I've reached the knit row. Okay. Now once we reach at the end of needle 2 knits, you know that you've taken from needle 2 and given needle 1. So what happens to needle 2? It will not have a stitch, right?
One less.
One less. So take from number 1 and give to number 2, but it's already knitted. So you don't have to, you have to knit actually because of the thread. Okay, see. Once again, this is needle number 2. The one that I'm tapping is number 2. And this is number 1. The number 1 is the glut now. It has one extra. This is the poor neighbor has one less. So let's take out from needle 1 and give them needle. Okay. Here I've taken and put in number 2. But while I'm transferring, it becomes a bit loose. So I tighten. That's it. Right? Now my pattern will follow. Now I follow the normal pattern. And the normal pattern says, knit yarn over, knit 2 together, and then yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, skip, yarn over, knit 2 together. Correct? So shall we continue or shall we, have you understood this pattern? There's nothing
For me,
else.
it is bit difficult for me. I will try how to do it.
How to transfer? It's not
Yes.
difficult.
Getting again
Come on.
confused.
See, it's not difficult at all. But all you have to do is you have to realize that you're transferring from needle, first you're transferring from needle 2 to needle 1. Then you're transferring from needle 1 to needle 2. So basically it's like that. You're transferring from the passive needle to the working needle. Always, right? And see. See? So now I've reached the end of my knit row. I'll have to undo
I think
that row
Eunice
because
will
I
have
have not
to
reached that.
say while transferring from which needle to the other. Otherwise, it will be difficult to
Why there are only 2 needles?
remember.
Listen, Lutz, it's like that. There are only 2 needles. So at the end of each needle, you transfer from one needle to another. That's all. So if I
Okay.
was working, so if I'm working with needle number 1, then I transfer from 2 to 1. On the other, then when I reach 2, I finish needle number 2, then I have to transfer from 1 to 2 like that. Always transfer. Okay. In this case, the instructions are that you transfer from your left to your right. 1 stitch. That's all. Left to right. Just remember that. All right. So sometimes they do not give you instructions to take from this needle to that. They just put this like that. See, like I'm putting now, they just put an arrow like this. I'll do it here. Just put an arrow like this, which you have to understand is left to right. Or they'll put an arrow the other side, which means you have to transfer right to left. Now, how many stitches they will put on top here? Suppose 2 stitches. It means that you have to transfer from left 2 stitches to right. Understood? Or sometimes they say right to left. Suppose I put 3 here. So it means that from right, I have to transfer to left 3 stitches. In this case, you're lucky it's just 1 stitch. So it's not so difficult. Just try it. Just try it plain and see. Right? Did you understand now what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes. Eunice,
Yes.
now from now onwards, would
Yes.
that mean the knit rows would have to be done in the same way?
Yes, it says here at the end of each needle, knit 1 stitch from the next needle. That means that you're doing next needle means you're working with your right needle, right? So it means transfer from the left needle to the right needle. Okay.
So that
That's
means
what
for row 19, 21 onwards, we'll have to do the same
Yes.
thing. Okay.
That's what it says here. So
All right.
until it says stop, you have to transfer. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a very beautiful pattern. So if you can conquer this transfer, which is not very difficult at all, it seems difficult. It is not difficult. Once you start doing, you'll see it's not difficult. Okay.